to the weather. Can a change in weather affect your health? Do you find you get more headaches when there's a storm brewing? Seasonal allergies, weird aches and pains. We asked our natural health expert, Bryce Wylde, for all the answers. He's there.
Yeah,
so let's talk about this. We all want summer to come. At least I do. It's my favorite season. But with it comes some issues.
Some challenges.
Yeah, whether it be headaches or allergies. And we have to talk about triggers and what we can do to maybe lessen their effect a bit.
Absolutely.
Right?
So we don't have to tell migraine and headache sufferers what those triggers are necessarily because they experience them starting with humidity and the barometric pressure changes. So we talked about those storms that brew through, right? That is horrific, but it's not the cause. It's a trigger. Let's be clear here about causes versus triggers. So triggers are typically those things that compound or add to the effect, but not necessarily the underlying issue. Scientists for a long time have been debating what the underlying issue of headaches are. They still don't know.
They don't know.
They thought it was vascular, then they thought it was about neurohormones, and then but it's normally one thing after the other, and then it's the straw that broke the camel's back. And I'm always downing on refined carbohydrates and sugar.
They probably don't help, do they?
Well, you know what? They cause glycemic imbalances. Like, so sugar spikes, and what does that bring? Inflammation.
Right.
Why add so much more potential inflammation to whatever you're ailing, but especially headaches?
Right.
And what is notorious within these guys is also, besides sugar,
fat.
It turns into fat. Yes, so absolutely. Thank you for that, the reminder. Abdominal obesity then, leads to hormonal fluctuations, and of course then contribute to headaches. But gluten. Oh, gluten. Gluten is notorious,
so
and this is what.
So now all of a sudden we're hearing everyone needs to ditch gluten. Remember, at some point we were saying, oh, don't ditch gluten if you're not celiac. You don't need to. Now it's like, no, maybe get rid of the gluten.
I'll tell you something. If you're a headache sufferer, ditch gluten, and you might see a very significant, immediate change.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Well, at least the good thing is that you have so many options now that are gluten-free everywhere you go. Even when you go to resorts now, they have full gluten-free buffets.
Can we talk about that for just a sec, though?
Let's talk about that.
Is typically a gluten-free product has a higher amount of refined carbs. It comes from rice.
That's true.
Which equals sugar. So it's, again, carbohydrates equal sugar equals inflammation. So yes, if you're looking to avoid not refined carbohydrates, that's it. Let's ditch those, and you're eating tons of fruits and vegetables from earth, right? Whole non-gluten grains, barley, rye, oats, spelt, and wheat, they typically contain gluten. So it's everything else besides that in its whole grain. So refined is the issue. Refined
sugar. So no processed. Stay away from processed
stuff. And by the way, you're also looking at some really healthy foods here, like sauerkraut. Tempeh, we're told to eat this. Fish. But you know what the theme is here? Smoked or preserved. Here's another major trigger that headache sufferers and migraine sufferers probably don't know, like they know barometric pressure. They don't know that what's triggering them here is tyramine. Tyramine's also found in red wine that you're holding. I know you're trying to sneak that off the table here, right?
Like, so, really? We gotta ditch this too?
Well, unfortunately, this is a tyramine load. So while you're off at the barbecue or parties in the summertime, you're eating a lot of this stuff. Sometimes you think it's healthy, aged cheese, but no, the theme is tyramine. Tremendous migraine trigger, especially when you eat too much of this stuff.
So, like, we hear that some of these things, like, this is really good for your gut health, but listen, if you're a migraine sufferer...
Headache sufferers, beware.
Stay away.
Absolutely. Also, when your sleep habits are off, right, represented by this sleep mask here, make sure your sleep hygiene is in check. You're getting that 7 to 8 hours deep, restful sleep. Sun and sunlight. No one's wanting to get that sun and sunlight in, but if you're a headache sufferer, you don't really necessarily realize it. That sheen off the concrete or particularly water, that can trigger a migraine like nothing else. And I've got this big red E here.
I know. What's this for?
So, a lot of women do know this, especially if you're checking yourself and you're doing a timetable or a calendar check. During your period, estrogen tanks. That lack of estrogen actually is also what can significantly trigger vasodilatory response or that migraine potential.
So would you get more of them after menopause if you have less estrogen?
Well, it's the fluctuation. So good point. Yeah. So during that menopausal time frame, when there's the sleep interruption and there's hot flush and so forth, yes, migraine sufferers typically do get more of those. Remedied, in some cases with bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Talk to your doctor about that. But here's some remedies, and this is really where I excel. So once we rule out triggers and obstacles to cure and causes, magnesium, 600 milligrams of magnesium, citrate in particular. Here, this one you may not have heard of, feverfew.
No.
Right? Yeah, you know, I'd love to get you to taste these things here. What do you think about that? A little bit of feverfew.
That's nasty.
I love it. Oh. I love it. But it's so gross, but it works. It's like skunk juice, but I'm telling you, for migraine headache sufferers will do anything.
Really?
Anything, you know. And then, you know, and even ice. You know, the ice sticks, just rubbing your temples, you know, or anywhere we can get that inflammation down. Absolutely. Okay. Also, right now in this season, histamine is everywhere. We're going to tell people what allergies are all about.
So let's talk about allergies. Okay. So we're moving from headaches to allergies.
Yeah, so allergies.
If you suffer, it is so tough. Like,
it's so hard.
What do you do?
So we're filled up with these cells. They're called mast cells, and they've got histamine inside them. Okay. You're going to be the allergen. This is a pin.
Oh, no, I'm going to pop a balloon.
Go ahead. All right.
Okay.
You're the allergen. Right? Histamine all over the place, right? So it's that histamine that's causing allergies. And then what we do is we go and we take antihistamines.
Yes.
How about if we had a mast cell?
Don't make me
we're not going to pop it. What if we had a mast cell that we could keep nice and plump and juicy and together without releasing the histamine in the first place?
That would be better, wouldn't it?
That would be. Found in brightly colored yellow and orange vegetables and fruits. Quercetin, Quercetin, a natural mast cell stabilizer. It's found in black sour cherries. All right, you might want to try that.
Well, I'll be chewing it for
honey.
10 minutes.
Folks, listen. You want to make sure you change the filters in your home because they're constantly filtering out allergens, but also your car. So what you're looking at here is a car filter.
Okay.
Change this in your car. You're spending, what, 2 hours as a commuter a day?
Right.
If that's dirty or broken down or not working, you're taking all those other allergens, right?
Okay.
Make sure you shower before you go to bed. Also, this time of year, summer pains in the joints.
Yes.
So arthritis is rampant in North America, largely because of the obesity epidemic.
Yes.
Weekend warriors sitting all week at work, but then going out and doing a 5K run, right, to support a good cause. Great, keep doing it. But here's the miracle in a joint support I want to tell you about called marine collagen. Deep marine collagen. This stuff here, marine, think not bovine. Okay. Absorbs into the joints, lowers inflammation. 2 times better, right? So it's smaller, so it gets there, lowers inflammation, remedies joint pain because it rebuilds the tissues. Take an Epsom salts bath.
Yes.
And topically, this stuff is made out of capsaicin or hot pepper. Okay. So hot pepper cream, you can even make your own. Maybe we'll have one up on the Cityline.tv website. Sure. Make your own at home, rub that, counter-irritant effect. Yes. A lot more circulation to the joint, so big joints and small joints alike.
Just back to the joint health. Sure. A lot of people say summer is actually a better time for them for joint health, isn't it? Or is it the humidity in summer?
Right, we're in transition.
Okay,
so it's that beginning, it's that spring into summer, like, whoa, it's literally lubing the joints. Think about it like that, and then by the end of the summer, you're probably a little bit better. Okay. Less rusty, so to speak.
We need to spend some time talking about ticks and Lyme disease now.
So we have to get this in. So this is epidemic, in particular in the Northeast, all the way through New York State, all the way through some of the Canadian provinces. Yes. Hugely epidemic and problematic, causing everything on onset. So if a tick bites you and it injects something called Borrelia burgdorferi, right? This is a bacteria, spirochete-like bacteria that can get into all your joints, can cause joint pain. And initially, it's like a fever, intense, maybe even a rash called a bullseye rash. Yep. But this intense flu-like symptomology, if it's not dealt with early stages, so weeks of antibiotics, it can turn into a lifelong pain. All right, chronic disease, like presenting like chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia. So these are people with massive headaches, massive joint pain, can't function anymore, depression,
pain all over?
Pain everywhere, and it's undiagnosed Lyme. So what you're looking at here, I recommend a number of things like checking yourself, right, whenever you come out of a wooded area, because this is where they fall off, deers and other vermin, vectors like raccoons and stuff, wearing white socks. This is actually nothing but a little poppy seed, right?
But they're about that size?
They're exactly this size. Okay. And I want to present, these different types of tweezers. If you were to find one on yourself, don't use these broad width tweezers. Find very, very narrow tweezers. You go very close to the mouth. You want to not interrupt this thing. You don't want to squeeze it. You don't want to burn it off or suffocate it with oils. You want to grab it as close as you can right at the mouth and pull that thing ever so slowly but stiffly out. If you push whatever's in its body into you, that's where there's problems, infections. So this is where I'm a fan of DEET. I'm not a huge fan of chemicals, but if you're going into deep, thick, wooded areas, especially in your lower limbs, and then when you come out, especially with your kids and even your pets, the belly button. Underneath,
that's what they like?
They love it. They underneath the belt line, behind the knees, in your ears, everywhere. So please check for these things. They're rampant. Disease is rampant. Talk to your doctor. And also keep the tick and submit it to the lab through your doctor to make sure that there was, in fact, maybe an infection in that tick.
Because they're not all going to infect you, all the ticks.
That's correct.
You should look for all of them.
50% do, though.
But 50%
one in two, it's crazy high.
Really good information.
Yeah, thank you.
Bryce, thank you.